So Blaine, we've been friends for a long time, right? Yeah, we go way back, since like the 80s, right? Yeah, the 80s. Since the 80s. So, why do you ask this question all of a sudden? Like, why? Oh, I just wanted to make sure. No particular reason. You got something up your sleeves this time, don't you? You always happen to have something. So what is it? Just spill it out. Just spill it out. No, I got nothing. Don't worry about it, Blaine. I got nothing on my sleeves. I don't even have sleeves. You see how I wear this? Don't worry about it. Okay, so you know how you have Digimon and we have Pokemon? So you know how there's that whole dynamic duo that we kind of have? Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I have Digimon, you have Pokemon. Well, what about them, huh? Like, what does it have to do with each other? Well, what are you proposing? Oh, no particular reason now since you cracked your knuckles and I'm a little bit scared to death. So, the reason I'm asking this is because, well, which one of us is better? Pokemon or Digimon? That's actually an interesting question, and now that I think about it, Of course. Anyway, since I'm the one that has to deal with this insanity, since I'm the one that, again, time and time again, I have to resort to all of this, I have to figure things out on my own. I don't understand why it's always me. Well, sometimes a few of the others, they take care of their own stuff. But point is, today we're going to be talking about both Digimon and Pokemon. Yes, that is right, a 2-for-1 special today, ladies and gentlemen, and one that I think a lot of people may enjoy or may not really appreciate, because as far as I can tell, this one is a very interesting video because we're going to be determining which one is the better monster. And I know, I can already see the look on your faces simply because of me presenting that question out loud and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, don't worry too much of the objectivity or the subjectivity of this. Point is, I know for a fact that they have their own, merit. They have their own love and support for, their own communities, things like that. But I just want to see, in what aspects does Digimon have that's better than Pokemon? What aspects does Pokemon have that's better than Digimon? And obviously, which one has the more beloved factor to it? So that's kind of more or less to determine which one is, quote unquote, the better one. So obviously, to give a little bit of background, to give a little bit of context to this entire video, to determine which one is, again, quote unquote, the better one, Digimon or Pokemon has been around since the 90s. Obviously, in Digimon's case, it appeared 2 years after the release of Pokemon Red and Blue, or Red and Green if you saw the Japanese release back in 1996. So Digimon has its fair share of a 25th, more or less, back in 1998. And a lot of people like myself, we know Digimon mainly because of the anime. The anime is what kick-started Digimon, and then obviously games slowly started to develop. So on a technicality, Digimon are to be considered as video game characters as well, but not to the extent as we have with Game Freak and Pokemon, but you get my point here. So there's a lot of nostalgia, there's a lot of love and support for these type of monsters, and to kind of determine which one's the better one is, again, a very tough decision to make, because there are some things that clearly Digimon has that's better than Pokemon, and what Pokemon has that's better than Digimon. And by all means, that's basically the purpose of this video here. So with that out of the way, with all the love, nostalgia, things like that, let's just get right down to it and go with the first category that we have, and that is the anime. So the first thing to determine which one's the better one is obviously the anime, because the anime is mostly the most iconic piece of media when it comes to both Digimon and Pokemon. A lot of people do know that there are games, specifically in Pokemon's case, since that's kind of what started Pokemon in the first place. But a lot of people in Digimon's case, they know the anime more so than the video games. So the anime obviously is the first one here, the first factor to determine which was the better one. And personally speaking, I think Digimon has the better aspects of an animation compared to Pokemon. The reason why I say this is because, and I am going to resort to this one argument in particular, is the Ash Ketchum argument. And the reason why I specify it to that specific argument is because in the anime, in the Digimon anime, there are people that grow up. In the Pokemon anime, Ash has been a 10-year-old kid for a really, really long time. And so that kind of hinders the sort of love and I guess the continuity of Pokemon, because if Ash is 10 years old in every single series and every single region, what's the timeline here? Meanwhile, in Digimon's case, specifically Digimon Adventure, Adventure 2, Adventure Tri, and then the movie that came out after the events of Digimon Adventure Tri, that is a set timeline right there. You know more or less the timeline of events with Tai, with Matt, all of their friends, all of their Digimon, how they went into the digital world, how they got out of the digital world, how they saved the digital world and the human world, all that kind of stuff. And they also grew up. You saw Tai and his friends as 12-year-old kids when they first started entering and interacting with the digital world. Then you saw them as 14, 15-year-olds. And then in Digimon Adventure Tri, they were basically almost close to graduation. And then in the movie, the recent movie, which is called Last Evolution, they were already college students. So there was a set timeline, there was a set flow. And then there was other series as well, like Digimon Tamers, which were sort of, you know, self-contained. Digimon Frontier, my personal favorite as well. An amazing, amazing storyline. The fact that you were able to evolve into Digimon, that was pretty cool. And then obviously we can't forget Data Squad. Data Squad was amazing, personally to me. And then all the others like Xerox Wars, or I don't even know what's happening. But point is, in terms of the anime, and at least to give some credit to Pokemon, because I know they are slowly making things a little bit different with Pokemon Journeys, which is obviously amazing, which is an amazing thing as well to kind of see that momentum going. But in terms of the establishment of a proper anime series, Digimon has won this one by a mile. In terms of video game content though, Pokemon by for sure won this one, because when you think of Digimon, half the time you don't really think about the video games that they have. Sure, Bandai Namco is the big boy when it comes to Digimon games nowadays, with games like Digimon Cyber Sleuth, Digimon Hacker's Memory, Digimon World Next Order, all of the new stuff, even on the mobile games such as Digimon Arise, all that kind of stuff. They have a presence in the video game industry. They have that presence thanks to Bandai Namco. But even before that, like again, Pokemon has been around since 1996. Digimon, at least the anime, started in 1998, and the games followed suit afterwards. And though a lot of people do remember those games, especially in the DS era, in the GBA era, and also on consoles, there were a few games like the Digimon World started in the PS2 era. Then there were obviously like standalones and spin-offs, such as the Data Squad stuff, all that kind of stuff. They had their own Smash Bros. I think it was called Digimon Rumble. Point is, they were games that Digimon had, but they weren't well known compared to Digimon World and obviously Cyber Sleuth when it came out in 2016. And in Cyber Sleuth's case, the reason why it's so iconic to Digimon standards is because it utilizes a formula that is similar to Persona and Pokemon. So obviously Pokemon has established its presence for a really, really long time when it comes to the video games. And even though there is a huge fair criticism, and to speak a little bit about that criticism, to kind of add a little bit more value to the Digimon games, the Digimon games were ambitious. They were really ambitious because they were trying to set a different standard and a different sense of identity when it comes to their games. They didn't want to try out a Pokemon formula. And the same thing goes with Spectrobes as well, which is from Disney, but that's an entirely different discussion in and of itself. That could be for an entire video in the future. Point is, Digimon is not as well known in the video game industry because it tried to revolutionize and it tried to establish something completely new to set its own identity. While in Pokemon's case, it has established its foundation. It already knows what it is trying to do, and we've seen that time and time again as we await for Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, Legends, and all that kind of stuff. Another point in the video game stuff as well, in also to mention specifically Cyber Sleuth. Again, Cyber Sleuth is an amazing game and definitely worth a recommendation in terms of RPGs, and it also shows just what Pokemon is supposed to be in modern console. Because if you look at the gameplay and if you look at least the graphical standpoint of Digimon Cyber Sleuth, of Hacker's Memory, that is what Pokemon is technically supposed to be according to many people as well. So to give a half a point to Digimon here, if we were doing a point system here, Digimon does deserve some credit and it deserves some recognition, and hopefully someday soon I do try out the games, because I am sure there are merit towards playing those games, much like there is merit towards playing the spin-offs such as Mystery Dungeon in Pokemon's case, Legends, Pokemon Snap, all that kind of stuff as well. So now, the moment you've all been waiting for, at least I've been waiting for by the time this video has been rolling. Like, I'm pretty sure you're either asleep, you're not here, or you just happen to click exactly at this moment, in which I say, hello there everybody. But the category that you've all been waiting for, ladies and gentlemen, is obviously which one is, again, quote unquote, the better monster. And this is obviously a no-brainer because both are beloved. A lot of people who love Digimon obviously love Pokemon, and a lot of people who love Pokemon obviously love Digimon. And what separates them apart is the way they handle the evolution aspects, the design, the characters, all that kind of stuff. So obviously they have their own different sense of how they want to portray a monster, and in Pokemon's case they're called pocket monsters, Pokemon. So obviously you catch a ball and you throw it, and there's officially your pet, so to speak. And so unlike Digimon, which are digital monsters, they're digitized. They are basically a digital computer, whether it's a virus or an actual file, things like that. Digimon are very completely their own thing. They have their own lore, their own mythology. Obviously Pokemon does have that with the legendaries, but it's not as, I guess, convoluted as Pokemon has it, because Pokemon does have set legendaries that have their own thing. There's a legendary Pokemon of Order, there's a legendary Pokemon of the seas, there's a legendary Pokemon of the skies, all that kind of stuff. They're basically the gods of their respective universe. And the same is said with the digital world in Digimon's case. There are the Holy Knights, or I guess the Knights of the Round Table. I don't necessarily remember, but I think they're mostly called the Holy Knights. Point is, there's a set of extremely uber strong Digimon that basically establish the order and the chaos of the digital world. And then there's all these different Digimons that can digivolve, which essentially they evolve, but they can also revert back to their original state. And for those that have seen the animes, for those who have played Cyber Sleuth, you know what I mean. For example, Agumon can digivolve to Greymon, and then Greymon can go back, de-digitize, to be more specific, back to Agumon. Meanwhile, in Pokemon's case, if you give a Thunderstone to Pikachu, that Pikachu is forever going to be stuck into a Raichu, and you can't revert that Raichu back into a Pikachu unless you have it mate with another Raichu, and then you get a Pichu egg. And point is, when it comes to Digimon, their method, their logic is different than that of Pokemon's. And a lot of people love the logic of Digimon, where you have a base Digimon, it evolves into a stronger Digimon, and then when it runs out of its energy, it could go back, or it can even go even further beyond into a different Digimon. Meanwhile, in Pokemon's case, it's evolution. You go from one to another, and then that's it. It's a set value. So, but what I'm trying to say here is that it's completely different in this case, and that's why if we were again to have a point system here, Pokemon and Digimon each get a point. They each get their own point because they're very separate. They're very unique. They have iconic designs. They have iconic creatures, and obviously to add more to Digimon's case, Digimon are a little bit more mature in content. And to give two examples, Angelwomon, Lilithmon, I mean, come on, if you played Cyber Sleuth, you know what I mean. There's an array of Digimon waifus that a lot of people really are very amped up about, if you know what I mean. And in Pokemon's case, if you have a thing for a Love Bunny, well, oh boy. Yeah, I don't want to go into there, ladies and gentlemen. I really don't. Let's just finish this right here, right now. Yeah, done right here. Yeah. So to kind of retrace all the steps, all the stuff, to kind of like reanalyze, to kind of like conclude all of this, it's very hard to determine which one's the better monster, because again, there are aspects in one thing that are better than the other. And as we've seen that in the case of the anime, yes, the Digimon anime does have a good set of a timeline. It has a good budget. I know that there's a reboot or I guess a remake of the first Digimon Adventure anime back in 1998. And in Pokemon's case, it's been consistent with its movies, with Ash being the main protagonist, which is something that, again, Digimon doesn't really have because it does have other standalone characters and protagonists. And in the games, obviously, there is a more sense of remembrance, of a nostalgia when it comes to Pokemon, more so than there is of Digimon. Even though in Digimon case, they're trying to, and like I've said with Cyber Sleuth and Hacker's Memory, they're trying to use a successful formula and make it their own, and thereby making all the people that love Pokemon wonder if Pokemon could utilize those techniques for future games as well. And then with the Digimon and the Pokemon as a whole, in terms of like the roster of characters that they have, the roster of Digimon and Pokemon that they have, they're obviously unique and iconic. You ask somebody about Angelomon or Angemon, they know who you're talking about. If you talk to somebody about Pikachu or Raichu or Lucario, they know what you're talking about. So there is no better one at the end of the day, because again, there is a nostalgia to it no matter what. There is a sense of identity. You know who Agumon is, you know who Pikachu is, you know what Digimon are, you know what Pokemon are. It's not the same where, you know, if you're trying to compare Yu-Gi-Oh! And Beyblade, where yes, that right there, you can try and determine which one is more iconic, because a lot of people will obviously know about Beyblade, but the question is, which Beyblade do they know? And in regards to Yu-Gi-Oh! They know who Yugi is, and they know that regardless of which anime you started, you know who Yugi is, you know who Yu-Gi-Oh! Is. So my point is, it's very tough. There is no better one here, and it just depends on who you really ask. For me personally, I love both. I love Pokemon more than Digimon because I grew up with Pokemon, but now with Cyber Sleuth and also with Digimon Survive coming in who knows when for the Nintendo Switch and I think for all other consoles, I would love to try out the Digimon games. I would love to see what they were trying to utilize and what they were trying to experiment, so that when they do make future Digimon games, they know that they'll present this identity far greater or equal to that of Pokemon. All in all, let me know what your thoughts are in regards to today's video. Which one to you is the better monster? Personally, to me, I like both, so I can't really determine a concrete answer. I can't really say which one's the better one, but I love both equally. Right now, it's more so Pokemon because of Pokemon's 25th anniversary and all the stuff that's coming out. But Digimon does have its fair share of love in my heart as well. I grew up with Digimon Frontier. I grew up with Data Squad. To me, that is peak Digimon. But let me know your thoughts. Let me know your favorite Digimon, your favorite Pokemon, your favorite Pokemon game, your favorite Digimon game, your favorite Digimon cast of characters, your favorite Pokemon anime moment. All that kind of stuff, throw it in the comment section down below. I would love to read what you guys have. I would love to see what discussions you have brought. I would love to see your reactions to today's video. And you know how I like to end my stuff as well. Keep being awesome, you guys. Keep spreading love and kindness into the world. I know you guys can, and I know I can as well. So let's make sure to do at least one act of kindness each and every day, because I'm sure someone out there could really use it in this time of need. And also, keep improving yourselves. Keep improving yourselves by 1% each and every day. Again, I've read it in a book. I don't even remember where it is, so I don't really quote me there, but keep improving yourselves. I know you guys can, and I know I can as well. And know that I love you guys forever and always to 120, and I hope to see you all in that next fantastic, marvelous, spectacular, brilliant, shining, and sexy video. All right, good. You guys are here. We can finally settle this once and for all. All right, so who won? Between me and him, who won? Digimon, Pokemon, which one? Spell it out. Come on. Which one? See, while I was making the video and while I was rambling and all that kind of stuff, I came to the conclusion that you guys are tied when it comes to the Digimon Pokemon debate here. Nintendo Ninja, Game Freak does have a better lineup of games compared to what Blaine and Bandai Namco has, but at the same time, Bandai Namco does a really good job with showing the presence of Digimon as well as the anime, doing a really, really good job. And the Frontier, like, dude, Last Evolution did me dirty. You made me cry there. It was such an amazing experience. But you guys are just tied overall. You guys have iconic characters. You have iconic Digimon and Pokemon. It's just a tie for me, my guys. Wait, that's it? That's all you have to say? Yeah, that's basically it. A tie. You guys can leave now, I guess. I don't know what you guys were planning to do with this information. Honestly, I don't really know. Looks like we have to buy Sonic some lunch this week, don't we? Huh?